Welcome to our 30-minute yoga along the wall, or legs up the wall. Really excited to offer this session. We did a little short session of this in our last month's subscription, so I know some people have had a taste of it. Maybe this is a practice that some of you incorporate into your own lives or own routines for reasons other than yoga. So legs up the wall, which really is just going to be sort of our peak pose or our end destination here today, is a really gentle inversion that generally everybody finds relaxing and comfortable. It's typically one of those positions once you get yourself into, you're thinking, why haven't I done this sooner, and how long can I stay here and relax for? So what's important about legs up the wall and why it's so beneficial is it directly helps support both our circulatory system and our lymphatic system. Okay, the lymphatic system is different than the circulatory system, and this is important to know because while we have our heart to pump blood and sort of run the circulatory system, we don't have a pump in our body for the lymphatic system. So lymph just kind of can pool or get stuck in different areas. The number one kind of recommended way to promote lymph circulating in the body is exercise, so just movement in general. And what legs up the wall does to support the lymphatic system and the circulatory system is it allows gravity to sort of do the work for us. So if you think of it as just taking the pressure off, when we get in the position, we get our legs up the wall, everything starts to come down the legs, the lymph, the blood comes down the legs, comes into the pelvis, ultimately makes its way up into the heart. The liver is able to then process toxins and whatnot. And our lymphatic system carries so much, and right now it's such an important time that we nurture it. It helps us with processing viruses, processing bacteria, basically anything in the body that needs to be sort of filtered out can be carried through the lymphatic system. Okay, with that being said, the wall offers a really supportive and relaxing way to assist yourself in a yoga practice, and that is what I'm going to guide you through today. So we're actually going to start standing, okay? Don't worry, we get to lay down soon. But we're going to start standing. Have a blanket close by, or maybe a pillow. We're going to use that when we get into the seated and reclined sections of the class. So just start facing your wall. Okay, you're going to put your hands flat. I like to kind of hug the elbows in and then place my hands on the wall. Spread your hands nice and wide, just as you would if you were in like a plank pose or chaturanga. Okay, and then start to walk your feet back. Keep your hands where they're at. And just allow yourself to come into this supported or standing variation of downward dog. So the hands are nice and stable through the wall. So you're feeling the wall underneath all 10 fingers and the palms of both hands. Your back should feel nice and flat. Definitely a stretch to open up the glutes and the hamstrings. Just let your head relax. Just take one deep breath. An audible exhale. And then just walk your feet back in. Coming all the way up to standing again. So we're going to start by sort of cactusing, and you might know this stretch from a chiropractor or massage therapist may have given you this stretch before. So we're going to cactus our arm. Let your elbow press into the wall. I've got my right arm up, and then I'm going to start to walk to the left. So you can do this either way first. Essentially walk away, turn the body away. Just to open up tight chest, tight shoulder. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Walk yourself just very quietly back to center. Switch sides. So opposite arm is going to cactus along the wall. Okay, press the elbow in. And then just see how you do turning away from it. See if you're able to turn the body. Try not to brace against the stretch, so just like when we're in more traditional yoga class, just try to sort of feel where the stretch is coming from. Find your 5 out of 6 in terms of tolerance in the body, and just breathe. So inhale. As you exhale, see if you can relax the muscle a little bit. Good. Come back to the center here, nice and slow. Great job. We're going to come down onto our blanket. That's all the standing I'm going to make you do. So blanket or pillow, really no right or wrong, and you absolutely can do this without as well. The blanket just provides a nice little cushion for while we're sitting, and then a nice little lumbar support later on. So just place the whatever you've got down, and we want to get ourselves so that our backs are against the wall. Okay, lots of variations here. You could extend one leg out or both legs, or you can sit as I am, just in easy pose, so crossing. The more you prop the hips up, just like when we're in a different yoga class, the more you prop the hips up, the nicer this will feel on the hip flexors. Just let your back be completely against the wall. Just feel totally supported. We're going to move one arm at a time, so let's take the right hand down. And it's the back of the hand that we want to sort of slide or guide along the wall. So just working into the range of motion for the shoulder. Maybe you won't go all the way overhead, and that's okay. Just go to where you feel you can keep contact through the wall. Even for myself, that's about there. Sort of like you're doing a snow angel against the wall. And let's try that with the other side. Really good way to sort of just quiet yourself down. Use the flatness of the wall to check in from side to side, and maybe you have one side that's considerably more willing than the other. Good. Find your end range where you feel you could still make contact, and then just slowly allow that to come down. Good job. Nice and tall here again. Reach both arms overhead. Okay, and then just cactus the arms. See if you're able to keep contact into the wall. I know even for myself, the upper arms are not touching, but the shoulder blades are, and the forearms are. Just notice where you're at. Good. Extend your arms out to the side, and then just let them come down again here, all the way to the floor. Hands onto your knees. Okay, you may want to stay on your little blanket, or you might not. Let's extend both legs out and keep contact with the wall here again. There's a pose or variation in yoga when we do a forward fold, where we can work at just pointing toes back towards ourselves and press our hands into the floor. And you might feel good here doing that. So you can go ahead and try that. Otherwise, we're going to keep the bum against the wall, walk this up, walk the hands forward, and come into caterpillar or a seated forward fold. Try to relax your face. Just focus on your breathing. Nice deep breaths. One more breath. Good. Slide everything all the way back up. One more seated posture before we get into the really good part of laying down. So we're going to come into bound angle or butterfly. So bottoms of the feet are coming together, wherever that is for you, okay? And just allow your knees to relax open. Keep the rest of your back nice and stable and supported through the wall. Just breathe into this stretch or this opening in the groin. So this foot position is one that we will come into later when we lay down. So we're just sort of giving our body a little subtle warning. Let's take one more deep breath here. Good job. Okay. All right, my friends. We are going to make our way into our legs up the wall position. So the nice thing that the blanket or the pillow can provide is a little support for the low back. So if you find that it's difficult to have the legs up, then lifting the hips will help. There's two different positions that we can put the blanket in. If you're somebody who has a lot of kind of low back issues or any kind of known injury to the back line of your body, hamstrings, glutes, maybe piriformis, then I would put the blanket probably a little closer to the wall so that when your bum is on the blanket, it's kind of supporting across the sacrum or across the bony structure of the low back. But for some of us, and I'm going to do this today, I'm going to have the blanket up a little higher in the curve of my lumbar spine, so in that low back curve. And then that's going to allow my pelvis to sort of drop towards the floor into this little pocket. Okay, so we'll take a second to get ourselves set up. So like I said, having it a little farther away or a little closer to if you need that more stable support. So bum is going to come as close to the wall as you can. Okay? And then there's really no graceful way to get into this. You really just want to roll forward. So if you bend your knees and walk your feet down the wall, how we adjust the blanket is just to kind of bridge up, lift the bum. You can try this without the blanket at all too, and that is totally fine. So try to inch yourself as forward as you can. Okay. So for me, I'm keeping in mind that this is a restorative or a relaxing practice. So don't get too critical with yourself about having your bum really flat. We want all this lovely benefit of the drainage happening with our legs up. So as you kind of settle here, if you notice that you're unable to keep the legs straight, then that's okay. You can bend your knees. We're going to have them as directly up above the hips as we can right now. Sort of as our first spot. This is absolutely fabulous to just throw into your day for any reason. If you've traveled, whether it's in a vehicle or on an airplane, or maybe you're somebody who just spends a lot of time standing and on your feet, it's sort of instant relief. Some people can even really feel almost an intensity as the blood starts to come back down towards the hips or towards the pelvis. Just close your eyes. Try to focus on your breath, a nice full deep breath all the way into the belly. Don't let anything be distracting. If it's uncomfortable to have the blanket where it's at, or if you feel awkward about this position, just adjust yourself so that you are doing what works for you. You can be nice and flat to the floor if that feels better for you. So as I let you just take a few breaths here and enjoy this legs up the wall position, let's talk about our arms here. And you may choose to just move your hands a couple of different times over the next 10 minutes or so. There's lots of options. One, as you've seen me do, I like to just have my hands sort of out at a 45-degree angle so that there's space under the arms and the palms are up to the ceiling. I find this really relaxing to let that kind of natural curl of the fingers happen. And you can practice from the palms of the hands, just tracking that heaviness and relaxation all the way up the arms and into the shoulders. Another option is to hold the hands onto the rib cage or the belly. It can be really calming for your nervous system or your anxiety levels to just focus on the rise and the fall of the belly, so feeling yourself breathe into your hands. And then another option is to interlace the fingers, lift your head, and just cradle the back of the head, letting the elbows fall open. Allows a little opening for the chest. And interestingly enough, we're in the wrong season right now, but this is a really effective way to cool down your body if your body is hot. So in the summer, coming into this legs up the wall and taking your arms or your hands behind your head. And just stay here for one more deep breath, whatever arm position you've chosen. And then we're going to just take a gentle bend in the knees and let the feet come in together. Don't worry about opening the knees or pressing the knees into the wall. Okay, just find wherever your range is, and it might not be where mine is, it might be beyond mine, that's okay. Allow the pelvic floor to relax, allow the hips to relax, the knees to fall open. Keep focusing on the breath, inhaling and exhaling. Just seeing if you're able to notice where your breath is at, maybe deepen the breath a little bit. Really not being too critical about anything, just try to relax. So wherever you're at, try to draw your knees a little closer together so the feet are flat on the wall now. And then we're going to just walk our feet up to wherever we get to where the feet can stay pressed into the wall and the knees are bent. Some of you may want to kind of engage the abdomen like you're scooping it out and lift the pelvis or lift the tailbone. It's kind of similar to a bridge position when you do that. I'll demonstrate here. And it's also a good way to build into maybe a shoulder stand. So you just draw the belly in, pull the hip points forward so they're a little more in line with the knees. And let's just relax that down if you've joined me in that. But otherwise, just keeping the feet here nice and flat and the knees more together. And when you're ready, walk the heels back up. So take a second, just readjust yourself. Okay, you may find that you've kind of pushed yourself away from the wall slightly, so just reset as if we were just getting up to the wall. And then we're going to really be mindful about this, okay? So this is something that we want to happen in a relaxing way. I don't want you to overdo if you've ever pulled your groin or if you're somebody who has a hip issue. We're going to keep the left leg extended up, and we're just going to allow the right foot to slide away from us. Kind of like the hand on a clock, just opening up. Just Just until you find a nice opening stretch in the adductor muscles, so those muscles on the inside of the thigh. You may feel the MCL, so on the inside of the knee, popular tear, the MCL. You'll feel the connection of that up into those adductors and up into the groin. So for some, it's a nice therapeutic kind of stretch. Let's take a couple of breaths. You can choose to slide the heel back up the same way, or you can bend your knee and just pull your heel in towards the other leg. And then we'll extend that right leg up and we'll try the left side. So see how you do here. Just gently letting that foot slide towards the left. Oh, this one's going to be good for me. I get the support of the wall. So just breathe again. Try to relax all the muscles in your face and soften your eyes. Getting our legs up the wall is a really good way to help regulate the blood pressure as well. It is safe if you're pregnant. Might be a little more laboring to get into, but once you're there, you may want to stay here all day. When you're ready, slide that left heel up or pull it in towards you so that we can bring ourselves back to this starting position. And then one more time, just letting the knees fall open and the bottoms of the feet to come together. If you want to, this time you can reach up and take the hands just to the insides of the knees. Straighten out your arms, just press away or press into the inner thighs. A little assisted opening. And when you're ready, draw the knees back in. Just reach up, give a little hug on the shins, or you can hold behind the knees. Maybe draw some circles with the ankles, or you may want to give a little flutter kick here. Good, and then bringing both legs up here again. So hands out the side on purpose this time. We're going to turn the palms up. Okay, we're going to just bend the left knee and press that left foot into the floor. Just letting your heel come down towards your bum as much as you can. Any variations of these legs up the wall, also really good for our digestion. And you can imagine as we assist our body or allow gravity to bring all that fresh blood supply down towards the pelvis, that in turn brings a lot of blood supply and activity into the abdomen. So a great benefit as well. Good job. Take that left leg up. So this time just bending the right knee. Just walk or slide your foot down. Getting our knee into just a full flexion of the knee joint. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Great job, guys. When you're ready, take the right foot up. Okay, so if you want to stay here for a couple of more minutes, then certainly go ahead and do that, or pick your favorite position. For those of you who feel that the hips and the groin are good or are open to this, we're going to let both legs slide. And people ask sometimes how they know they're kind of at their end destination here. And what I say is, if you take just a second and look at your feet, you'll see that the hips are relaxed. The femur has rotated outwards as well, or external rotation. And that's all the way from the hips all the way up to the toes. So it's like the toes are either pointed away from you, or maybe even down towards the floor, depending on the rotation. Just to demonstrate the opposite, if your toes are more pointed across the room from you, or pointed at you or at the wall, then you're probably holding just a little too much tightness and tension in the groin and in the adductors. A cheat there, or an alternative, is to bend the elbows, support the outside of your thighs, okay, and then just let your knees bend, as I'm doing here. So this is a good way to just find a position you can relax in. Try to surrender to the stretch, and over time, before you know it, your body will respond. Let's take a couple more deep breaths here. So even if you've been quite comfortable with the legs apart, you may want to kind of assist yourself to bring the legs back up to the center. And then we're going to bend both knees. So just walk your feet flat, making our way onto our right side. Be careful about coming off of the pillow or the blanket. And we're just going to spend a second here just in the fetal position. And then whenever you're ready, making your way back up to seated. And we're going to finish off this lovely little wall class by sitting against the wall, quite casually, really. So bend your knees. If bending knees is not a comfortable position for you, then you can ignore me. You can sit however feels good for you. But for the rest of us, feet sort of outside the hip line, okay? You can either hold the shins, you can take your hands down. I like to just rest my arms on my knees, and just one more time, just enjoy the support of the wall all the way up the spine. With the knees bent here, it's an easy adjustment if you need to sort of lift up or scoot yourself at all. And in a way, if you've kept the knees wide and the feet flat, you can see how this would simulate like a happy baby or variation of happy baby when we are on our backs. So just sit tall. Try to find the upward flow of energy through your body. So as we're taking these last couple breaths just to close out our class, feel where you're supported through the sit bones, or where you're making contact with the floor. And then really feel and draw that energy from your root or from your base all the way up the body. Again, working against gravity to sit as tall as you can, to lift the crown of the head as tall as you can, just like there's a string attached to the crown of the head that's drawing you towards the ceiling. Try to relax your shoulders, just enjoy the space you have for a second from the ears down to the shoulders. Maybe create more space if you find that you're clenching there. Just take one more deep breath. Great job. Excellent work, everybody. Bottoms of the feet are going to come together. Hold on to the knees with your hands. Take a deep breath in, sit tall. Deep breath out. And then let's bring our hands to the center of our chest. We're going to close our session. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed that. I know I certainly did. We're going to bring thumbs to forehead, kind thoughts to mouth, kind words, and chest, kind hearts. Namaste, and enjoy your day.